Oh, Eddie's in the dark.
Dark. There we go. Is that better?
Oh, Eddie's been in the dark for years.
I can hear a voice, but I can't see Roy.
No, we can't see Roy.
I've switched off. Aye, I've got a great face for radio. Hi, Eddie. Hello, Alistair.
Hello.
Hi, right.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for joining us.
Eddie, you retire from the police just about the same time as lockdown.
Yeah.
What have you been doing with your time?
Well, I was retired for about 6 weeks and I had already accepted a job. So I went back to work at the Army Assessment Centre. So managing facilities and things up there, which is fine. So I only had 6 weeks off. And it's fine. It's keeping me out of the house over the winter and things, but there's been no rallying to go and do. And I signed up to a scheme to buy additional annual leave, which is probably the most foolhardy thing I could have done, because I'm going to end up not being able to use it. But that's life. But yeah, young to retire, Roy. I get weekends off, but the recce's have been the thing, you know. And actually, in advance of this Zoom meeting, I had thought about the recce's, and we've done quite a number, Robert, Alistair, and myself, and we've done quite a few. And looking back over photographs recently, the benefit of doing that's clearly evident. And I would like to continue doing that. However I manage to do it, getting time off, it shouldn't be a problem, hopefully, but it's really beneficial.
So what have you been up to, Alistair?
Not very much, really. Just working away at the normal day job.
What about the weekends? What do you do at the weekends?
I'm usually in work. That's how it works. We were lucky last year with not having any rallies, but Knock Hill, where we film as well, had some stuff later on in the year.
Right.
So that kept me kind of going with editing and filming. So at least I didn't lose all my abilities and how to do things.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully it looks like that'll be the start of the year anyway. That'll be what we'll be doing again.
Yeah. One of your big successes was the film that you created for Colin celebrating his 25 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hit count is now, but it was, the last time I looked at it, it was some colossal number of people have viewed it. And it's not just viewed by Scottish people, it's all over the world. Did you expect that?
I thought it might do well because of who it was about and who was in it, but I didn't think it was going to blow up the way it did. I think it's over 200,000 odd views at this point, which is certainly the most viewed thing I've ever made. Big time. But no, I thought it was, I think when I looked through the footage was good, and I thought, okay, the footage is good and it's of sort of famous people in the cars that folk like to watch.
Yes.
And I thought, yeah, this will end up being all right. And it's just went absolutely mental. Still climbing at the minute, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
And is there a follow-up? Is there Colin 2, the sequel?
I don't know if we've got enough footage to do Colin 2, because he didn't really do a lot in Scotland overly that we've got on camera.
Yeah, but I think that was the nice thing about it, is we saw him in Scotland doing rallies in his formative years and coming up through the ranks of the Nova and all the rest of it. And it was good that, it wasn't WRC front of the field stuff.
That's right.
It was people who could recognise it.
Yeah, we got that footage when we did our 50-year celebration of the dinner dance and everything.
Uh-huh.
And the championship got in touch with Alistair Miller and got some footage of as many past champions as we could. And that was some of the stuff that was of Colin, was because it was one of those things. He won the championship in about 9 different cars, even though there were only 6 rallies. I don't know how he quite did that. So they were all in Sierras and Novas and all sorts, So yeah, it was good. It was good that we had that footage, and it was good that footage. Derek Ringer was sitting with them as well. Yeah. Because there were people worried, or people had commented that they thought it was going to be just about Colin and nothing about Derek for winning the World Championship. So we made sure you could tell that Derek was in there,
Yes.
It's quite interesting. Eddie was talking about wrecking and whatever, and that was obviously something that we were fortunate enough to be able to do from a few years back, and getting Eddie on board and getting him to come along for the photographing side. It's been really interesting. The difference in what we're looking for with a video and what Eddie's looking for with a photograph it really highlights that we're looking for completely different things.
Totally.
But it's very beneficial, definitely.
And it's time consuming.
Yep.
It is, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
it's also you've got a lot of hoops to jump through as well. I mean,
yes.
you know, we obviously have to submit once we've decided where we think we can go. We've got to submit that to each of the events for them to approve, and if they're happy with it, that then has to go into their safety plan, so the safety delegate knows where everybody's going to be and everything. Yeah, it is time consuming, but it's worth it. And of course, now with the live stuff kicking in the last year and a bit, that's another thing that we've got to look for. You know, is that a good location? Well, yes, it is. Can I get a signal? No, I can't, invariably in the forest. But you're then compromising where you can get a place that you can do some live stuff from.
I think, Robert, was it 3 years ago that we had to, you and I were up in Aberdeenshire somewhere, Durris, I think, and we actually had to go through a safety course before we were allowed into the forest.
We did. We had to go to the forestry office just at the back of Durris and get indoctrinated.
Learned about chain throw and all this stuff.
Yeah. We had to go through all that in order to before we could even get into the woods to recce. So yeah.
It's good.
Explain.
Well, it's health and safety. They're just making sure that we've been told everything that they want to tell us, so that if something happens, we knew about it. You know, it's just them covering themselves. It's the same with events. I mean, you know, we can't cut any corners. We can't say we're going to go to one place and then go to another place, you know, because it'll just catch you out. The events are expecting you to be there, and the safety delegate will ask questions if you're not, or if whoever you say is going to be there is not there when the safety delegate gets there. So, you know, you've got to play the game in order to hopefully get the respect and the trust of the forestry and the event.
And keep your license.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're all licensed. We've all paid a chunk of money, and we've all got business insurance now, which we need in order to go and do all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
But there's talk that Robert Beck and Alistair Beck were competing in navigational rallies, and
oh gosh, what did we did one? What was it? 2 years ago now, Alistair?
We did one, and we were doing all right until you started getting car sick.
But I wasn't sick. That was the achievement. That was the first navigational I had done for 20 odd years.
A sabbatical.
Alistair was driving the Sunny, and I was co-driving, and I wasn't ill. But it was so long that I decided it was Solway Car Club, so we had a joint down there. I was pleased that we did it, and I wasn't ill. I was starting to feel a bit by the end of it, but yeah. But that was 2 years ago now, and I've not managed to get out to do another one.
Done a couple of auto tests just at Kames last year as well when they started back up.
Aye.
Yeah.
And Dad did pretty well. Dad was third at one point during the day before the car started to.
Before the clutch went, or was it the radiator went? There was something, both of them.
Oh, car preparation problems.
Also, there is no preparation, right? That's
no.
Oh, you count the wheels.
Exactly. And you and I have been doing auto tests or we're doing them up at Ardea.
All right.
The Scottish Sporting ones up there. So
there was a film shown on Facebook recently of Eddie Kelly in the navigator seat.
Aye. Was that Brian Watson he sat beside, was it?
Not for very long.
I can't help thinking you quite enjoyed that not very long bit.
Well, I don't really know how it came about. I think it was a bet between him and Montana, and Montana pulled out the week before because he claimed they had some motorcycle thing that he had to do instead. So I did it. We lasted 4 miles, I think, into the first stage before there was a turbo problem and a bit of a fire. So that put paid to that. But it was a bit of a blast. And then a week later, Montana asked me to sit beside him at Croft, and that was a completely different experience. So that was good. I've got a trophy downstairs from that, which never thought would happen. But yeah, it was good, really good.
Yeah. And did it give you a new insight to what goes on inside the cars?
Definitely. I've been asked a few times, would I do it again? Yes, I would, probably around the safety of a circuit. I'm not sure you'd get me in a car on your close road event down in Stranraer, or the Jim Clark or anything like that. The only thing I discovered quite quickly about a single venue is you don't trust yourself to count, or you disbelieve the number of times you've gone round, and you start doubting yourself. Because I remember at one point Montana saying, "Right, where are we going at the split?" And I said, "I think we're going left." "What do you mean you think?" But I'd counted the marshal that I'd passed. I thought I made a point of, right, once, that's twice now on the third. Oh, dear, left and right on each hand and stuff like that. But no, great experience, really good. And I got my own back on a lot of photographers by asking that question that I get asked after every event. You got any pictures of Car 84? Yeah. So no, it was good. And I did get some nice pictures.
I thought you were going to say you'd given them the beefy
no,
wave.
do you know what? Do you know what? If Beefy or yourself had been there, I would have done that every lap. The Beefy wave.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have got away with that.
I think Beefy just tells you he's done 2 laps.
I think so, every time.
Yes.
Every time, yeah. Yeah. I'm constantly amazed at how good his eyesight must be, because we're not always that prominently, visible, but he seems to find us, and often I don't realise he's done it until I'm going back through the pictures and you zoom in, there it is.
Believe me, when you're in the car, you know he's done it.
Yeah, I'm sure all it is that he's mistaken me for Gavin Brown. That's it. I tell myself that.
First year we filmed at Mach 1, he did it to me about 3 times on the first day alone, and I didn't even really know who Beefy was at the time.
It's not. Yeah. It's any photographer. It's not individuals.
Yeah. Good though. Good.
Nothing personal, chaps. Nothing personal.
No. Well, I'd actually be disappointed now if he didn't do that. Take it personally.
Yeah. So the snowman rally, with all the snow and the backdrops and the views and all the rest of it, do you enjoy filming in the snowman?
Filming is hard work in the snowman. It's great once you're in the place and you're set up, as long as you're out the wind. Because if it's cold wind and snow blowing, it can be an absolute nightmare. I think I got lucky in 2020 event that I was doing interviews with mum, so I was relatively sheltered most of the day. Yeah. But, Richard, one of our newer cameramen, poor man was suffering with a ridiculous cold, and we sent him up the hill in Boblaney where there was literally no shelter for miles around for him, and in between each car you could just hear him coughing and sneezing. Yeah.
And you wonder why these boys don't come back and help you again.
He would come back and help us again, to be fair, but
but
we really threw him at the deep end, because his first event was the Border, the year of the snow, 2 years ago.
Oh, right. Yes.
And he was not prepared for wet conditions at all, and we sent him up a hill.
Yeah.
None of us were.
And I'm amazed he came back after that, truth be told. But he was quite happy to.
Definitely the weather. I mean, obviously the second day filming live location that we were at in the snowman last year was the middle of Boblaney, not that far away from where Richard was, but the bit we were at was a really good open bit along the top. But of course, the flip side of that was it was exposed, it was pretty windy, and it was freezing. So the weather is the big challenge, always. And on the recce, the weather's the big challenge. Getting through some of the stages, it can be a big challenge. Ice is the biggest problem. I mean, 2 years ago when the event was ultimately cancelled, when we went up and did the recce, snow is fine. You can get grip in the snow. It's the ice that's the real challenge. And then that year it was cancelled. It just got worse in the 2 weeks between us doing the recce and the event. The ice was just unbelievable.
So we had gone up and done the recce for that one, hadn't we, with the ice?
Yeah, so and one of the stages I remember, Eddie, you're coming down along a hillside, and Alistair's doing about 5 miles an hour, 4-wheel drive on in the car, and we were still sliding.
We had no control at all. We were just locked up, sliding down the hill, and eventually it gripped up just before the hairpin that we needed to get around. That was pretty.
That's at 5 miles an hour.
But just going back to the level of involvement there, I remember we left the hotel just nearly 4 weeks. I think it was a 4 weeks actually. We left there at 8 in the morning, and we were back there at 4 in the afternoon to then head down the M9. It was a full shift to do the recce. And I think some people think that we'll go into the forest and we'll whiz through the stage in no time, but we're in each stage probably for an hour. Sometimes, maybe sometimes more than that.
Yeah, because you're in and out, you're checking. I mean, you've got the same old thing. There are good bits in a stage, so you could just go back there again. But I think there's always a desire to do something different, go somewhere different, get a different view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's interesting, people wouldn't necessarily think about, is that although we maybe know the stage really well, every time you go there, it looks different because of felling. With the trees will grow, I don't know, a metre a year or so, and if there's been a bit that's been clear felled 3 or 4 years later, it could start to look quite different. So, I know down in the border. So Ellie Bank, for example, was a nice shot that I did there, and I think the last time I did it, I knew was going to be the last time I could do it. And just with the tree growth, it takes the backdrop away. So time to then find something else.
I'll be disappointed if you turn out and not your camouflage gear.
If he's in his camouflage gear, you won't see him. So
That's
correct.
Yeah.
That's it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Until he slits your throat.
Aye.
Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
Which you might do anyway.
Yeah. Can I pop in with one here? Throw one back at you, because I know the answer. Well, my answers, but for Robert and Alistair, your favourite stage in Scotland for filming? Top 3 then. Top 3. What would be your top 3?
Where have I had?
Well, wait a minute. Let Alistair and Robert think about it. What's your favourite, Eddie?
Well, I know that we found 1 or 2. Hindley in the Borders was lovely, and it worked on so many levels. We just found some lovely stuff in there. That definitely. I like Black Lock as well. It's got a bit of everything. Yeah. And as you know, Argyll was just the gift that kept on giving for me. And I know we're moving to closed roads there, but I enjoyed immensely the Argyll rally. It really, really good since it came back.
Okay, Alistair, you've had time to think about it.
Well, I will say, I think it was 3 years ago in the Snowman, I did Bob Laney. It wasn't snowy, but I was basically in a similar area to where Richard was, just at there's a big sweeping hairpin up the hill. And on your right-hand side, there's a huge expanse of no trees, nothing, and then a nice big hillside with everything. And that was really, really good that day, because you saw the cars it's different to what Eddie looks for, but we see the cars for a long way, and the guys were clearly trying, so that was really good. I had Corrie Alt in Argyll. I had some really good footage in there at the junction over the square right over the bridge, sort of at the high point. That was really good. I've done actually pretty well in Twigleys in the Scottish, even though it maybe wasn't the smoothest that year. I ended up with some really good footage because the dust was all there and everything.
What's Robert's favourites?
Well, you see, I'm so old, Roy, that I think that Guphill Farm at A.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Bits of A are good. I like some A. Hindley, I think, is a cracking stage as well. I agree with Eddie with that one. Bob Laney in the middle of it. It's got some really good bits in it. There's just sort of every rally's got good stages. Drumtochty and Fetteresso are fantastic. Forest Roads and the Grampian. Argyll had been phenomenal. I mean, Corrie Alt is something else, but Bishop's Glen with the views and everything.
Yes.
Argyll's always been a favourite of mine. I mean, I again old enough to remember going to watch the Burma. I think that'll be more than enough.
No, it's been good. It's been really good. Thank you very much.
Any dirt on Jock Armstrong before we get him back?
I think I've done enough damage.
I
meant to say to Dad earlier that the first thing you should always ask Jock now is, where's the Skodaroo? And he just avoids the question every time. It'd be good to get an update on that,
Oh, no.
Yeah.
When that rear end challenge set of photographs started appearing on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, I thought, oh no. No, it's about to rear its ugly head again, if you pardon the expression.
No, I did dabble, but it wasn't. It was the same location, but it was a different year. It was when he was walking about with the rubber bottom on. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, chaps. That's been good. That's been
good to see you.
And look forward to seeing you hopefully in Argyll.